up for the start of these NBA playoffs. This here is the field of 16 teams competing for the title. The weeks ahead promise to deliver incredible moments and unforgettable games, and it all gets underway today on Prime. Now here's a look at the lineup for a huge playoff tripleheader. Raptors and Cavs, they're up first. Then we're headed west for the Timberwolves against the Nuggets, and then we close it on out at Madison Square Garden with the Hawks against the Knicks. Welcome on into the home of the NBA on Prime. It is playoff time, guys. Let's do it. I am joined by some guys who have a whole lot of playoff accolades. We, of course, have Mavericks legend Dirk Nowitzki. Led Dallas to the title in 2011.
Talk to me.
Averaged 26 points on his way to being named the Finals MVP. And next to him, the Steve Nash reached the Western Conference Finals 4 times as a player and led the Nets to the Eastern Conference semis as a head coach. He does it all. And look at that man, Blake Griffin. 10 trips to the playoffs with 4 different teams. Career playoff averages over 18 points and 7 rebounds per game. And last but certainly not least, Udonis Haslem, a 3-time NBA champion with the Miami Heat.
Braids.
Hey, y'all were pretty good at basketball, eh?
And Steve, you said he never passed to you, and I just saw him pass it to you.
That was one of the
You said he never passed to you.
I literally spoon-fed him for 6 years.
I mean, for sure, just gave it right to him.
Oh, gosh.
So you are all very familiar with the moment that we are in right now. It's the start of the playoffs. It all comes down to this. UD, what does game one really feel like inside of a locker room?
If you're the home team, the pressure is on you. You've worked all year to get home court advantage in certain situations. You understand that you do not want to give that up. And if you're the visiting team, the pressure's there, but you understand you got 2 games to get 1. So you're definitely saying, we go into that first game, we shadow box a little bit, we want to get this one, but we definitely got to get the second one. So there's a little more pressure on the home team, and you're definitely on edge if you're the home team.
Man, this is the best time of the year. It's getting warm out. You got super excited to finally get to the playoffs, that week preparation. You like from day to day, the anxiety, excitement builds. By the end of the week, the playoffs come, you're kind of like over the other team. You know you went over it over and over. So you're just excited to get out there, see the matchups, adjust. And it's just the best time of the year. There's just nothing like it.
Yeah, for me, it's preparation. You know, you're sitting in the locker room. You've had, especially these 2 teams that we have first, Cleveland, Toronto, they've had 5 days now. So going over the game plan, knowing everything, feeling prepared, but at the same time, you know, having high involvement but low attachment, because things change so quickly in the playoffs that you have to know the game plan, but you also have to be ready to shift. So it's so fun. It's like the calm before the storm and that mental battle that you know you're in for.
And from a coaching perspective, you're seeing how your week of preparation materializes. You know, you've gone through matchups, you've gone through coverages, you've gone through adjustments, what sets do we want to run, need plays, spacing packages, and then you get to game one and you never know how it's going to go, how your team's going to respond, how they're going to play, who blinks first, what adjustments needed first. So there's always an anxiety from a coaching perspective, but you want to come with confidence. You want your team to feel and breathe life into them so they feel like we can win game one right out of the bat, have a quick start. So it's an exciting time of year for coaches as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. And for every team, this is only the beginning of what promises to be a thrilling playoff journey, taking us from April stars and storylines that will define the weeks and months ahead.
The NBA regular season never fails to produce. Now, we turn our attention to the playoffs.
For the first time in 10 months, folks, he missed the competition.
Don't act like you don't know right. On the front porch in the front gym.
The collision to the cup belongs to New York.
These guys are putting on a show night in and night out.
And the Sixers stay alive. They are playoff bound. Portland is going on the road. The Orlando Magic fought the Charlotte Hornets. And Phoenix is playoff bound.
It's time to buckle up, folks. The playoffs are here.
This playoffs full of great teams. Of course, there are top dogs, but anything can happen in this time of year. What storyline are you most excited about in round one, BG?
I think for me, the most exciting matchup is Minnesota-Denver. I mean, it's two of the greats, Anthony Edwards, Nikola Jokic, but they also have great teams. They've had success. This is their third time meeting in 4 years in the playoffs. And, you know, meeting in the playoffs is sort of where those rivalries start to build. So this is going to be one of the most exciting first-round matchups. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the superstars on each team. Can they get it done?
What about you, Derek?
I'm looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder starting their title defense. You know, we've had 7 different champions this last 7 seasons. So can they repeat? They've been sort of the best team, obviously, all year. Shea's had an MVP type year. Their depth, their length, their defense is #1 all year. So they're definitely set up, if they're healthy, to have a great shot at repeating. And obviously, to play your Suns in the first round should be a fun matchup. But yeah, we'll see if they can get all the way and repeat.
For me, it's the Detroit Pistons and the Magic. What we saw yesterday from the Magic, if they can bring that, I'm looking at some old school smash mouth Eastern Conference basketball, like 98 to 105 type basketball. I mean, the Magic get to the free throw line, Detroit foul like hell. Nobody's going to back down. It's going to be competitive. So I'm really looking forward to this matchup. It's one of those matchups that I think is going to be really, really competitive, and nobody's going to back down.
I'm excited about the Spurs. You know, you talk about the top teams in the league, OKC, Denver, Boston. They've all been there before, and they've all won championships recently. This Spurs team have put themselves in the conversation, but they haven't been here at all. So it's amazing to see a young team, as we watch Victor do something crazy.
Every game?
Yeah, every game. And that's one of the things, that they have Victor, but they also have this tough, complementary crew around him. So can they kind of skip a step here and show that experience isn't as important as we believe it is, because they are so good so young?
Yeah, Spurs in the playoffs for the first time since 2019, ending the second longest active playoff drought in the NBA. It is time now for the Drive to Tip-Off, presented by CarMax. And that there is Steve Nash's godson.
Come on, RJ, go get him.
What's your hype message for RJ, Steve?
Do your job. Do your job. Go after him, play D, get out in transition. Get
And
yourself a
that's
win.
Good focus.
Hey.
All right, Spider and the Cavs, they have lost in the East and East each of the last 2 years. They are hoping to make a deeper run this year, and we're going to have more on that later in our show. Living this moment, Tyrese.
A little premature.
You know, but you still got things done. It was an incredible run to the finals for Tyrese and the Pacers last year. The 2-time All-Star, as you see, joins us now, and there's some good news. On April 8th, you posted that you played 5-on-5 for the first time since your injury in June. What emotions came with hitting that milestone?
Yeah, you know, I didn't even realize it was my first time playing 5-on-5 until the end of the workout, and our player development guy was like, "Yo, you just played 5-on-5," and I was like, "Oh, that's damn! I didn't even realize it's our first time. This is pretty crazy." Because I've been doing 3-on-3, 4-on-4, and everything kind of built into this moment. So I enjoyed it, man. It's I don't take it for granted, my health, and so to be able to start the process of getting back even closer, it's very fun for me.
Tyrese, you guys had obviously an incredible run last year, all the way to the finals, Game 7. Is there a team this year that you think can be this year's Pacers of last?
Yeah, that question's hard because I don't want to say any team that we were the 4 seed, so I don't want to say anybody that has like how you could say the Spurs because they're young, but they're way better record-wise than we were last year. So I would probably say Atlanta. Just for the fact that after making the trades, especially since All-Star break, they've been hot, and that's where we were. After January, we got really hot, and, we were second best record, I think, in the NBA behind OKC after January last year. So, Atlanta's kind of reminded me where they're kind of hitting their stride at the right time. So I would say Atlanta, if anybody. I'm not saying that because they're playing the Knicks. I'm just saying that.
I like that answer.
Ty, we got the Cavs and the Raptors coming up first here this morning. How do you feel James Harden will impact this Cavs team in this series?
Yeah, I mean, obviously between James and Donovan, I think they just have two elite offensive options there, and then playing with the bigs and Evan and Jarrett. I like that group a lot. I think that they're going to be really good, a tough out for anybody. I think Toronto, poses a little bit of a different threat with kind of all wings where they're kind of moving around. I'm interested to see who Scotty starts on. I would think it would be Evan, but we'll see how things turn out to start the series, but. No, I think this Cleveland team is poised to have a decent little run here.
Hey, Tyrese, you know what it's like to take OKC to the limit. What would it take for another team to push them that far, or either get it done against them?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously such a machine, such a weapon. They're so good, top to bottom. I think last year when I think about that series, I think Shea's going to be Shea, and you guys know this, and you guys are elites and played in many big playoff series. That the top guys are going to be the top guys. It's about how do you maintain and contain the other guys, And for us, we had a couple games where Aaron Wiggins kind of, was a big spark for them off the bench. They shot it really well at home. J-Dub had a 40-point game, I think game 2 or game 5, where he really dominated the game in OKC. So it's like, it's the other guys that, is the big part of it. Because Shea's going to be Shea. And I'm interested, to see, hopefully we get that OKC San Antonio matchup, because I'm really interested to see what that would look like in a playoff series. But I don't want to overlook whoever else they're playing. They obviously got Phoenix in the first round and other teams, and I think Denver would be a tough out for both those teams as well. So I'm interested to see how it all plays out in the West.
Ty, which player are you most excited of watching this year in the playoffs?
Well, obviously, I'm a little biased. I'm going to say JT, obviously, coming back from his Achilles. He's had, a great run so far, but I'm really interested to see how he looks in the, playoff atmosphere. I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, Wemby would be my second answer for him to be in the playoffs. Obviously, he's had such a great year. I'm interested to see what he looks like throughout the course of the series. I know the physicality, what teams are allowed to do defensively increases, and he hasn't shown any problem with that all year. So I'm just interested to see what other teams are going to do in the playoffs, what teams are allowed to get away with in these games, and how San Antonio maintains themselves. But I'm really looking forward to those two guys, seeing what they can do this year.
Tyrese, WrestleMania is upon us.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Here we go ahead again.
Here we go. Every time.
Here we go.
Every time.
Brett the Hitman Hart or the Iron Sheik?
Listen, Steve, I'm going to put you in the figure 4, and we ask you, is it real? Do it really hurt? We'll put you in the Boston Crab and see if it really hurts.
Zip it.
So, question. Were you buying John Cena as a heel? Because I really ain't buy that.
It was his final run, so I got behind it for that reason. But I mean, it is what it is.
You can't see me. It's hard to see him as a heel.
Yeah, it was weird, but he enjoyed it. It was his idea. He went out the way he wanted to. So
What do you mean? Did you buy it? I thought it was all real.
Yeah. Why would you have to buy
it's like when Hulk Hogan went to Hollywood Hogan and dyed his beard black, and it's all that. These guys were the heroes.
Buddy, I don't know what you just said.
What about the Undertaker?
Don't worry about it, Tyrese.
What about the
Just
Undertaker?
enjoy WrestleMania, brother. That's all. Don't worry about these guys. They just mad because they got to work.
Also, Tyrese, major congratulations on the production company and the development deal, adding more things to the resume. We're excited to see what you cook up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
A WWE documentary coming soon.
Yeah. You'll be featured in it. Don't worry.
I appreciate it. Might be a tag team.
So
I'll
will
wait for
Steve
you.
Nash.
I'll be the heel.
All right, thanks so much, Tyrese.
Appreciate it, guys.
Ty.
Thanks, Ty.
Later, Ty.
We're going to take a break here, but first, our camera spotted one of the best teammates someone could ever have.
Oh, gosh.
He came here.
Let's spill a little bit of tea. Hey.
I'm coordinating with this guy, by the way.
Listen.
Holy smokes.
I think that was a hole in my cup. That
Can he
was a hole.
walk and chew gum at the same time?
Might need to get some lids.
Yeah, I think so.
30,000
Thanks for holding it down on the desk, Dirk.
30,000 points.
All right, coming up, a little rivalry. The Nuggets won the regular season series against the Wolves 3-1, but Minnesota won their most recent game in March, which brings us here with the two teams meeting in the playoffs for the third time in 4 years. What does this series represent for both sides, Steve?
Well, I think this is an interesting inflection point for both franchises. You know, when you look at Denver, they have arguably the best player in the world. He's in his prime. How much longer does he have of his prime? You want to exploit that to the ultimate. Then you have their rivals in Minnesota, who have gotten to 2 straight Western Conference Finals. I think Chris Finch has done an excellent job, but if they don't get back to the conference finals or finals in a very difficult Western Conference, I think they have a lot of decisions to make to how can they reimagine themselves to get over the top. So I think that's what we want to see in the playoffs, is that edge in the series.
Yeah, and I definitely think the expectation is definitely for Minnesota right now. If you see how they finished the season the last couple of years, the expectation is to take a step further and get better. And we necessarily haven't seen that from this team, but I definitely think this is a series where you have to figure out how you want to land your punches, what you want to do against Joker. You understand you're not going to fully stop him, but you got to slow him down and kind of X out those other guys. So this is an opportunity to, don't worry about the regular season. You didn't get the regular season the way you wanted, but this is an opportunity to rewrite that and get further along in the playoffs. So I look for this team to do those things, and I like them, but it's a tough matchup tonight.
Yeah, one of my big questions is how the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to free up Ant. Denver has a lot of bodies to throw at him, and late game, so much focus is going to be on him. So who of the Minnesota Timberwolves is going to step up on the offensive end? I love that they brought in DeSomo to sort of be a secondary ball handler, but that ball has to be in Anthony Edwards' hands. So figuring out some schemes, figuring out some movement, making sure they have enough off-ball movement, player movement, ball movement to free things up down the stretch, because a lot of these games, I have a feeling, are going to come down to the final buzzer.
Yeah, there is great matchups all over the court. I think Julius Randle is a big key. He needs to have a good series, shoot the ball from the outside, give it a little more room for Ant defensively as well. We know how Gordon moves off the ball and off the Joker. Murray, career year, MVP, All-Star for the first time this year. So how are they going to guard him? Is Jaden McDaniels going to be on him? Are they going to switch some of the two-man game? Is he then going to front Joker? There's a lot of stuff happening here, and chess match we can look at early. So, yeah, excited for this one.
Yeah, for Minnesota, we've all been there. Some of that pain and those sleepless nights over the summer, that has to drive you. That has to drive you when you get back to this point. That's got to be what you're running on right now, that pain and that frustration and those sleepless nights that you finished the season and you didn't get your goal done and you got that close 2 years straight. It's got to burn.
And what's the impact of the new acquisitions? Yeah. You know, for Denver, you got Bruce Brown returning, you got Cam Johnson. You know, over with Minnesota, you've already mentioned Dunsumo, who's, I think, a terrific addition for Minnesota. But what's the impact they're going to make in their first playoffs together? I think that's an important component of this series.
And I also think, too, you know, Minnesota's going to have their hands full just off the fact that they have Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic together, BG.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a luxury to have for Denver. You know, throughout the game, Jokic does such a good job of getting everybody involved, but late game, you are going to get a steady diet of Jokic, Murray. And here, Jokic can handle, Murray can set, Murray can slip, he's got the shot there, he could hit Jokic back. There's so many different options that they have. And what I like, too, is it's not just a straight-up pick and roll. He gets a little screen away, Jokic pop, and now you've got the best player in the world making decisions with 1:26 left in overtime. That's what you want, and that's the luxury that they have. So how Minnesota is able to guard that is my question. Who you guard it with? I mean, here you see them guarding with two of their better defenders, in McDaniels and Anthony Edwards. So that will be interesting, and this is the part of the playoffs that I love, is all those wrinkles sort of change. Jokic might change his screening angle a little bit, and it might not be that noticeable, but it's noticeable on the outcome. So all these things are so much fun to watch.
And it's an incredible pick and roll, one, because they can invert it. You know, Jamal Murray can set for a 7-footer who can barrel his way to the basket. You put up small jumps out. He's got the handle to take a guard into the paint, makes incredibly tough floaters. They look easy. Like, we expect him to go in now. Those are not easy shots. You got Jamal Murray on the other side. If they leave at all to help on the Joker, he's lights out from three or playing closeout games. So it's incredibly difficult to defend.
But also on the other side, though, Ant's going to have the ball in pick and rolls a ton, too. He's going to call Joker up a lot, put him in every action, and you know how great he is, and Ant going downhill, stopping on a dime and shooting in the mid-range. So, yeah, Denver's defense hasn't been great, especially as of late over the last few weeks. So they're vulnerable on that end, but Minnesota needs to keep scoring. Denver is a machine offensively, and they have been. And so they got to keep up the score, and where is it going to come from besides Ant?
But see, that's kind of the elephant in the room is the Nuggets defense. I mean, they have the best offense in the NBA, but they're the 9th worst defense in the league this season. No Peyton Watson tonight.
Yeah.
How do they make up for that, UD?
Well, first and foremost, the guys that are doing all the offensive pulling is the guys that are getting attacked on the defensive end. Once you go down the stretch, you're going to try to attack Jamal Murray. You're going to try to attack Joker, but they have that guy called Aaron Gordon back in the lineup, and he changes their defense tremendously with the way he can guard guys 1 through 5. He can blow up pick and rolls. He can get through screens. He can guard down in the post. He can guard on the perimeter. He can do all those different things. And you also have Bruce Brown and those guys that can do those different things. But what I look at on that other end is this is something that we talked about when we played against the Denver Nuggets in the finals. Is you have to pass. You have to take the same test until you pass it. And once you pass that test, then you have to pass the final exam. The test is once the ball goes in Joker hands, you have to guard cuts. You have to guard pin downs. You have to guard cross screens. And then once you graduate, now the final exam is you have to guard Jokers. So this is the process that you have to go through every single time down the court and play defense on these guys.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at what Joker has been able to do against the Timberwolves. Now, I would say that he averages a triple-double against them, but he's done that against a few teams.
That's light work right there. 36, 15, and 11.
Yeah, it's crazy. Less than a year after a devastating Achilles injury in the Eastern Conference semifinals, Jason Tatum is back on the playoff stage. An injury that paused the momentum of his career, but not the expectations that have followed him since he joined the league, and not the drive to return to the biggest stage in the game. Time now for Prime Spotlight, presented by State Farm. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. But the Celtics, they earned the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference without their superstar on the floor. But I don't feel like people talk about the Celtics the same way they talk about the Spurs or the Thunder. Should they?
Yes. The short answer is yes. I think you can put the Thunder in sort of their own category. They're defending champ, and also they've been the best team all season long. But the Boston Celtics are one of those teams that are just so prepared for the postseason. A playoff series is about problem solving, and you know the question is, can you fix your own issues faster than you create new ones for them? And the Boston Celtics have a lot of problem fixers, and they have a lot of problem creators. There's not a lot of people on that roster that you have to hide, you know, and their ability to solve those problems quickly, just the way they play, their mindset. Joe Mazzulla has them playing a certain way. You saw what they've done this season without all their guys from last year, without Jason Tatum. Now you add Jason back in. Jaylen Brown's played some of his best basketball of his career. So the Celtics, to me, are one of those teams that you just absolutely cannot count out. Yeah.
I've been fascinated to see Coach Maz use his bench this year. How many role players he's plugged and played. He's developed them. They've had incredible discipline and adherence to the game plan, to the defensive coverages. It's really fascinating how he's put some in the starting lineup. He can play some off the bench. How deep does he go in the playoffs is interesting for me. But, like, what an incredible season for them to build an identity. This is a group that lost Jason Tatum for the most part of the year, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford from a championship team.
Luke Cornett.
Sorry,
Wow.
Blake
Yeah,
Griffin.
Your boy. Come on, dude.
They've still been able to find a style of play, an identity that allows them to be successful at both ends of the floor. And now Jason Tatum's back and playing well. So very, very impressive season as a coach and as a staff, as a team, and super fun prospects of how they can take this thing that's just starting to come together with JT all the way to the end.
Yeah, and it also feels like Joe Mazzulla is the one coach that will just put random lineups out there. He will play a bench guy. You know, most coaches try to tighten it. Feels like Joe Mazzulla is just like, no, we're going to do exactly what I think is right. And
IQ is a big part of that for players. Like, you got to trust people. You got to think they're smart players that can stick to the game plan, no tendencies, no coverages. That's not easy to have as many as they have on that team.
Yeah, and the Celtics, they face the Sixers tomorrow. And in the last game of our playoff tripleheader on Prime today, it's game 1 of the Hawks-Knicks series coming your way from Madison Square Garden. And I mean, there is no way to overstate how big of a postseason this is for the Knicks, all right? They fired Tibbs after an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, meaning that really the only option for success is the NBA Finals. So is that the expectation that you have for this Knicks team?
I don't know if that's an expectation I have for this Knicks team, but they definitely have a chance. I think for the Knicks, it's always been the game within the game. I mean, you have guys that you can go to in the post. You have guys that can come off the bench. You have an amazing closer in Jalen Brunson. But getting everybody involved, having everybody focused, having everybody engaged, having everybody connected throughout the 48 minutes of a game, that's what has been the problem for the Knicks. If they can solve this problem, they got just as good a chance as anybody of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, once again, we talk about having to see Boston. We talk about having to see Detroit. We talk about having to see those teams, but they have just as good a chance as anybody of getting to that Eastern Conference Finals when they are right from start to finish. But this is not an easy task at hand right now with the team that they have in the Atlanta Hawks. They have size, they have length, and they have athleticism. And that has been something that has pretty much hampered the New York Knicks this season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I picked the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference at the beginning of the season, and that was of course before Jason Tatum came back. But yeah, this is
no excuses. No, please.
Are you switching it? They haven't. What I'm saying is they haven't been as consistent as I would like on both ends of the floor. When they're good, they're really good. They're locked in. They're good defensively on offense. The ball pops a little bit. Jalen Brunson's the closer. They have all their shooters around. But if they don't look good, they can look tough. They have some rough nights here over the last few weeks closing the regular season. So I expect them to step up, though, and play at their best, have the defensive intensity with Hart and, Bridges and Anunoby and really set the tone defensively. But this Atlanta team is good.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, they're long. They put a lot of length on Brunson. I'm interested how the Hawks are guarding the two-man game with Cat. Are they going to switch it? Are they not just going to let Cat pick and pop and make it easy? So if they take that two-man game away, where is the Knicks offense going to come from? Is it just Brunson going to ISO and shoot a lot? That's what Atlanta wants. So we'll see. There are some nice matchups.
Yeah, and good to see the Hawks back in the. I mean, every NBA player wants a championship. It can feel defeating to fall short time after time. Steve, when you can't get over that hump, how does it loom over you?
Well, it can. I think the most important thing for Donovan Mitchell is to keep it simple. Okay, you're going to get a lot of noise from the media and fans, but the only way that can be positive is to use it in a positive direction. So for me, Donovan Mitchell is going to be the guy in that locker room, in that franchise that everyone's looking to. What tone will he set? How will he handle the pressure in the moment? And you want to calm your teammates and make sure they feel confident. So just keep it simple, rely on the work, go out there and be as competitive as you can be and lead your team. If you get outside of that stuff, the playoffs are about bandwidth and emotional endurance. And if you're using up that energy to go other places outside of performances, it can be tricky.
I mean, I could definitely relate. When you're in your prime and your goal every year is to win the championship and you fall short, it is just, it's a gut punch. It's heart-wrenching every time. I remember when we lost to UD in 06 and then the first round in 07, my MVP year. When we lost, I was so gut punched that I didn't want to leave the house. I was almost embarrassed. I was like, I took it that hard. I took it on myself that I let my team, I let the city down. And I definitely feel where he's coming from. And then it took us, in my 13th year, we ended up finally getting over the hump. But it's hard, and you hear the local media saying that guy is not the guy that can carry this franchise. And you hear all the noise, and I agree with Steve. You have to use that as positive fuel, as motivation. Go in the summer, work on your game, be a more complete player and a better leader. And you always look in the mirror after a tough playoff loss. What can I do to come back a better player the following year? So these are tough moments when you're there and you fall short every year, and you got to come back and motivate yourself and be a better player.
It's funny you said that, Dirk. I felt the same way when we lost to you. It goes both ways. I felt the exact same way when we lost to you, and I'm a kid that's from Miami, so every time I stepped on the basketball court, I felt like I was just representing a whole city and a whole group of people. But you got to stay in that saddle, man. You got to stay in that saddle. If winning a championship was easy, everybody would do it. So you just got to understand that everything that you want out of this is on the other side of doing the hard stuff, man. So keep pushing. Once again, I talk about those sleepless nights and all that pushing you. And we also talk about giving yourself grace, is what Jason Tatum talked about with injuries. But it's also when you don't win a championship, give yourself a little grace along that path as well.
Yeah, trying to contextualize what happens in the playoffs, I think, was some of the hardest part. I mean, what you guys said about not wanting to leave the house afterwards was something that hit me. But it's also about sort of learning from those mistakes. I know, I didn't have a chance to win a championship, and I told the Celtics my last year of my career, maybe I don't know what it takes to win a championship, but I know what losing looks like, and I know the habits that people take and what not to do. So I always just sort of try to focus on like, hey, I have the experience, but now let's go try to go the opposite way. So yeah, it's tough. It's just that thing where you have to just wash the past and look forward to the future.
Yeah, the pain and the glory of the playoffs. We're counting down to tip off in the opening game of the NBA playoffs, and James Harden and the Cavs against the Raptors.